Hi, Tim Unkert here, and welcome to my channel. I started looking at my 90s blog experiment that I'm doing. I started that November 12th, 2021, to see what kind of traffic I could get on it. And as I'm looking at my homepage here, something dawned on me. I need to move these YouTube videos to a separate page. I have over 300 videos, and if I try and put all the recent ones here and I'm posting regularly on YouTube, then the posts that I put here might be shoved down the page a bunch, and I want those front and center. Now you may be asking, what's this doing in a front-end development course dealing with calculus? Well, I figured I'd take a little bit of an aside and talk about how I'm going to create this page. And the concepts that we're going to cover are actually HTML concepts. They are lists, list items, and anchor tags. And we're also going to take a little bit of a look at using some macros in Emacs. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, so I'm going to scroll down here, and I noticed I created a post on this. So let's look at this post that goes along with this lesson. And you'll see here that I'm going to start by creating my own YouTube videos page. So let's open up our terminal and let's make a directory, and let's call that directory blog, because this is dealing with my blog. And let's go into that, and let me make a file with Emacs called YouTube videos.html. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And now that I'm in Emacs and I have an HTML file, I want to turn on emit mode. So I'm going to turn it on with Alt-X, and then I'm going to type emit mode. Okay, and so we see the message at the bottom, emit mode is enabled in the current buffer. As a reminder, Emacs refers to buffers as files. Okay, so I'm going to do an exclamation point and hit Control-J, and that's going to give me a basic framework. Okay, so that's the first part. We created that. And then let's look here. Well, we also want to create this viewport tag and maybe change the title. Okay, so let me go to the end of this line with Control-E, and then I'm going to type meta:\VP for viewport, and I'm going to do Control-J, and that's going to expand my viewport. Okay, now I'm going to use Alt-B to go back a word, and then Alt-D to delete a word. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type in the title of this page, which will be something like list of YouTube videos, because I'm going to make a list of my YouTube videos. Okay, I'm going to go to the end here, and naturally, since this is my 90s style, I want to include my CSS style, so I'll give you a little preview of that. So I'm going to type style here, Control-J. And typically on a website, you're going to have an external style sheet, but not in this case. I just want it to load as fast as possible, so I'm going to include it in the document. So in the body, I'm going to have a max width of 800 pixels and a padding of 20 pixels. That's all the style that I need. And I just saved there with Control-X, Control-S, just in case you were wondering. Okay, so down here, I'm actually going to make a comment. And I'll make the comment, and you see how my text editor shades it a light gray because it's a comment. So put Google Analytics script here. We'll do that later. Okay, and I probably won't include that in this video as it's a little bit outside of the scope of what we're talking about at this point. Okay, so we've got our head of our document all set, and what I want to do now is I want to start to create the body of the document. Now, if you look here, I have this UL tag with a list item tag, and within that, I have this A tag. Let me explain what all those are. So this is an unordered list. This is a list item, and the A stands for anchor tag, and that's what you use to create a link in HTML. Now, since we have emit mode enabled, we can expand these out so we don't have to type out each one of these. And the way I'm going to expand it out is I'll type UL a right arrow, then LI, and I'm going to have 300 because I have at least 300 videos up there. And within each of those 300 LIs, I want my anchor tag. I'm going to do Control J. And you'll see that we created a whole bunch. If we scroll down, we'll see we created a whole bunch of list items with anchor tags. And you see I'm scrolling down here. You can see the line number changing up here. I'm doing that with Control V. To scroll up, I'm going to use Alt V. That's a little tip. All right. So now the basic framework for this web page is set. What the hard work is coming is putting each URL within the double quotes there, and then putting in the anchor text between the opening anchor tag and the closing anchor tag. So just to show you what I mean, the anchor text goes here. That's what the user visiting the site will see, and the URL goes there. Okay. I'm going to get busy doing that, and I'll come back when I'm done with that, and we'll finish this page up, and you'll learn a little bit about macros. Stay tuned. And through the magic of editing, I'm back. Okay, so I filled in all the links for 300 of my last YouTube videos, and I'm ready to put this on the site, but there's one thing I forgot to do, and that was to add target equals underscore blank after here. Now to do this, I was trying to do this with an Emacs macro earlier off screen, and it was starting to fail. But there's one thing we can do. We can go evil and run the macro that way. So I'm going to type Alt X and then package list packages to refresh my packages. That'll take a moment. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to install evil mode. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, evil mode is, so I'm going to type package install, and evil mode is the Vim key bindings. So I'm just going to type evil mode, and it's going to go ahead and install. Then I'm going to do Control XD to go back to Dear Ed, and I just want to go back to this file. And now I want to run a macro. So to start a macro in normal mode, so if I'm in the insert mode, which I am, actually, let me take a back step. First, I have to turn on evil mode. So let me do that. Evil mode. Okay. So now if I hit I'm in insert mode. I can hit escape to get out of insert mode. Okay. To run a macro, I can type Q, and then the letter that I want the macro to be defined on, which in this case I picked W. So I did Q and then W. And now I can start the macro. Okay. And to move forward a word with the Vim key bindings, you just type W in normal mode. So I'm going to go forward. Actually, that's a harder way to do it. Let's go back to the start of the line. Let's end the macro. Let's restart it again. Let's do Q, W, define a macro. And let's go right here, okay? And to go here, this is the second occurrence of this, so I'm going to type 2F and then shift and the period sign, which is the arrow. I'm going to hit I to go into an insert mode, hit a space, type target equals underscore blank. I'm going to hit escape to go back into normal mode, and then J to go down a line, 0 to go back to the start of the line, and Q to end the macro. And then to run the macro, which I think I have like another 299 lines, I'm going to type 299 and then the @ symbol, so shift 2, W. Okay, so 299 @ W. So I'm going to do 299 @ W. And that's going to take a moment. And then it's going to go ahead and complete the macro. And because it's a large macro and because I'm recording, it is going to take a few moments, okay? So it's going through and it finished up, and there was one extra line that I needed to do. And let me just go back to insert mode here, and I'll go target equals underscore blank. Now, so I can save this, And now if I want to get out of evil mode, because I just wanted to use that for the macros, all I can do is type Alt-X and then evil mode again. And now it's just now the regular Emacs key bindings work. So yeah, that's an easy way to fill in something that you may have forgotten multiple times just using an evil mode macro. I'm going to put this page with all my YouTube videos up on the site. I'll leave a link to it in the description, as well as the blog post that accompanies what I did here with the lists, with the list items, and with the evil mode macros. The other thing that I want to cover right now before I sign off is that just one more thing. If I wanted this is going to be a bulleted list, and you'll see that. If I wanted a numbered list, instead of UL for the opening tag and the closing tag, I would use OL. That's pretty much it. So that's it for this lesson. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. It really helps the channel grow. Again, you can check out those pages. I'll leave them in the description, as well as my social links. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and have a great day.